Welcome to Brooklyn College, everybody. My name is Ron Jackson, and I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs. This is not how I envisioned welcoming you, but I'm happy to see you nonetheless. I see that you all are slowly coming into the room. Hopefully this is the second time you're seeing me if you completed your online orientation. If you haven't, the link will be posted in the chat. The online orientation will provide you with useful information to aid in your academic success, as well as key tips for learning in a remote environment. Therefore, I encourage you to review it before classes begin. This new student convocation is open to all new students. Generally, this is when I begin to scan the room to see who is here, but today we'll do things a little bit differently. So using the poll feature, let's find out where you are in your academic career. Let's see. So you want to select one. You're a first-time college student, a transfer, or a graduate student. And where do I see the results? All right, let's look at those results. All right, so most of you are first-time in college students and a good number of graduate students. Great. Okay, for our transfer students, where did you transfer? Are you coming from a CUNY school, a SUNY school, or some other type of school? So go ahead and cast your votes. Okay, let's see those results. All right, so look like most people are coming from a CUNY school. Great. All right, now using the poll feature, let's see how many of you are our recent grads who graduated from high school, community college, or four-year college or university. And I see that people in the chat are asking where the poll, they don't see the polls. So if you look at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you should see a button that says polling. And the poll should come automatically up. So let's see these results. All right, so a good number of you are high school graduates, and a good number also just recently graduated from your undergraduate degree. Great. And finally, in what school are you enrolled at Brooklyn College? Are you in the Murray-Koppelman School of Business, the School of Education, our School of Humanities and Social Sciences, School of Natural Behavior Sciences, or the School of Visual Media and Performing Arts? Go ahead and cast your votes. All right, I see some people putting in the chat. We have education in the chat, a lot of education, humanities, okay. Let's see those poll results. Okay, a lot of people in School of Education and just about as many in the School of Business as well as the School of Natural and Behavior Sciences. Great. Thanks for your participation. Now that we know a little bit about you, we have some guests who will help you get to know a bit about us. First up, I'd like to introduce to you the president of Brooklyn College, Michelle J. Anderson.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here and happy to greet you as the president of Brooklyn College. What an incredible, unusual start to a semester that none of us imagined would be this way. Nevertheless, you're part of the family, whether you are a new student, a continuing student, a transfer student, first in your family to attend college. You are welcome here. This is your academic home. It is your intellectual home. And we are so pleased to have you join us. I want to share with you a couple things about the college and a little bit of advice. Brooklyn College is richly diverse, as you know. Students of many races, religions, backgrounds, nationalities, and religious faiths come together to study and learn in peace at this college. We are thrilled by and often ranked highly for our incredible diversity of our student body, and we're very proud of it. The school was founded in 1930 and opened its doors at that time to immigrants and the incredibly diverse populations that make up this borough. And our student body reflects the borough today. Today we have over 18,000 students who from more than 150 countries represented, and students speak more than 100 languages at home. To give you a little flavor of that kind of diversity that we have. This political time in our lives makes me reflect upon Shirley Chisholm, one of the most famous alums of Brooklyn College. She was born in 1924 to immigrant parents from the Caribbean. Her dad was a laborer and her mom a seamstress. She attended Brooklyn College and became a New York Assembly member, was the first Black woman elected to the US Congress. And then in 1972, she was the first Black Democratic Party candidate for the President of the United States. She attended Brooklyn College. She is a favored daughter of the college, and we are so proud of her. The college changed her life, and she was an amazing individual. We all look up to her. The Brooklyn College faculty is brilliant, and they want to help you succeed. They want to help teach you and help you to move forward in your academic career. They are engaged in research, art, writing, scholarship, deeply involved in pedagogy and how to teach our students well. We're very proud of them. The Brooklyn College staff, we seek to be, all of us on the staff seek to be open and welcoming to you. We want to be available to you and do whatever we can because we're invested in your academic success. I want to share with you an idea, and that is that college, higher education, is an extraordinary gift to you. It's an extraordinary time in your life where you have intellectual freedom. I hope that you can take this time and approach it with curiosity and openness to new ideas. You will come out of Brooklyn College a person who has changed intellectually, who has matured, to be sure, who has learned new ideas, who has had her ideas tested by others. And I want to give you the permission and hope that you give yourself the permission to change. It's an extraordinary gift to be able to have this kind of intellectual freedom and the opportunity and the time to read, to reflect, and to share your ideas with other people and to change. Your willingness to experience intellectual change and the growth that Brooklyn College can bring to you is something that's going to be most valuable to you when you graduate from here. I hope that you can persuade your colleagues and be persuaded by insight and facts, particularly today. In this political climate, facts are very important, and treating one another with kindness is also very important. So we encourage you to do that and encourage you to find common ground, even with people who are very different than you are, and you will meet them here at the college. This is your intellectual home. Again, I want to welcome you, and we want to do everything we can to help you succeed. Thank you very much.
Thanks, President Anderson. Next up is the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ann Lopes.
Thank you very much, Vice President Jackson. So welcome to you all. I am delighted to have an opportunity to be here and welcome you. This is my absolute favorite time on campus, even the virtual campus. It is the beginning of the semester. I feel it, I'm excited, I'm thrilled, and I hope you are too. Beginnings are wonderful, particularly as President Anderson said, for your intellectual journey and for your academic journey here at the college. I want you more than anything to succeed. And to succeed, we have done many things to support you. This academic services that you're going to hear about in orientation and later, that you should avail yourselves of. There are students with whom you can collaborate. There are faculty clamoring to have you talk to them and engage with them and learn with them for your own academic success. So those are three things that you can really do right away. Work with other students, get to know them, get to know your faculty. They make such a difference in your life. Work with those students, work with those faculty, and avail yourselves of the academic services that we have on campus. They're there to support you. Also, have fun. Get to know other students in more relaxed ways. We have many opportunities for you here on campus, and you're going to learn all about them through the orientation program after Convocation. And it's modularized, it's online. It will really help you succeed. So I welcome you. I'm delighted that you're here. I look forward to seeing you in many different Zoom sessions, I hope, and then eventually on campus as well. And welcome to Brooklyn College. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Provost Lopes. The next person to bring you greetings is Amanda Waldron. Amanda is the president of the Graduate Student Organization.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I just want to welcome all the new graduate students to Brooklyn College. I truly hope your experience here is good and memorable, and one that you get the most out of, even during this time, of course. I feel like we can still try our best to make the best of the circumstances. Also, never be afraid to reach out for any help from GSO, as we are here to serve the graduate student body and your clubs and organizations. We also welcome you to get involved in GSO if you are interested in helping and being a part of our community. And I thank you all for attending this convocation.
Thanks, Amanda. To bring you greetings on behalf of the undergraduate student body, we have the president of the undergraduate student government, Ethan Milich.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your first year at Brooklyn College as a Brooklyn College student. So my name is Ethan Milich. I am currently serving as the president of the undergraduate student government. So USG is an organization of student leaders that works to facilitate many programs and projects that serve to empower and enhance this college and the experience of the undergraduate students. USG charters clubs, we fund clubs, we host and facilitate social events, we advocate for higher education at the city and state levels. We work with the administration and faculty to improve conditions and policies at Brooklyn College, and we work to make sure the students are connected, informed, and supported through sharing and promoting vital resources and opportunities. So USG has a set amount of positions. However, there are a lot of ways to get involved, and we strongly encourage students to reach out to us and learn about what they can do. Every year there's an election in the spring, and we have a year-long virtual presence on social media. So we have we also have a brand new website, bcstudentgov.org. It's going to be in the chat, so please check it out. And we use all sorts of different strategies to try to connect to the students throughout the year. So considering that we have COVID, I just hope that you can, try to reach out to us, get to work with us, get involved. And again, I congratulate you on attending the outstanding Brooklyn College. And I look forward to meeting you and serving you throughout this year. Thank you.
What's going on here? All right, we're definitely live, everybody. Thanks, Ethan. As President Anderson talked about, our student population is very diverse, with 18,000 students and approximately 3,000 graduate students. As she said, within that population, we have students who represent 143 countries, speaking 92 different languages. So let's see how diverse you are here today. So we're gonna go back to our poll feature. How many languages do you speak? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or more languages? And if you can't see the poll, feel free to put it right in the chat. Okay, so we have 2 languages coming from the chat. All right, let's see those poll results. All right, so we have a good number of you that speak 2 or more, but we want to hear from the 7 students that speak more than 4 languages, or that speak 4 languages. Let's see in the chat what languages those represent. So we have 7 people that speak 4 languages. In the chat, let's see who you are. Okay, Remsha speaks Urdu, Hindi, English, and Punjabi. Who else do we have? Now we're looking for the students who speak four or more. So we have Christiana speaks Greek, Albanian, English, and German. Do we have anybody who speaks more than 4 languages? Anybody in the chat that speaks more than 4? Okay, the more four languages coming in. Anybody with more than 4? Okay, so we have Nabila, who speaks French, Berber, English, and Arabic. Still 4 seems to be that big number. So we're gonna take down the list of all those students that speak 4 or more. I believe it was 7 of you. And you're gonna get a prize. We'll figure out how to get it to you, but we'll get you a prize, so we'll make note of that. So thanks for participating in that poll. Now let's see where you reside. Using the poll feature, where are you from? Are you from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, Long Island or upstate New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, outside the tri-state area, or are you an international student? Let's go ahead and look at those poll results. Not look at them, but go ahead and enter your poll results in there. All right, I see in the chat we have Brooklyn, we have Manhattan. We have Long Island, we have Brooklyn. Brooklyn all the way, go hard. Brooklyn, Brooklyn, upstate, Brooklyn. All right, let's look at these poll results. So as we figured, most of you are coming from Brooklyn, but we do have 1 in the chat from the Bronx. We have 10 from Queens, 7 from Manhattan, 5 from Staten Island, 7 from upstate, and we have 4 outside the tri-state area, and we have 10 international students with us. That's great. So let's take a look in the chat and see who thinks they live the furthest. So who is coming to us from the furthest? Not internationally, but nationally. Who's in a state that's the furthest away? We have Missouri. We have Sarah coming from Missouri. Who thinks they're further? All right, we have Anya coming from Wisconsin. Let's keep them going. Jonathan, we're not there yet. Okay, we'll hold on to yours. We're gonna get to the international students soon. We're looking for our national, who is the furthest, who resides in the States. Jasmine, I don't think Brooklyn's that far. But good to know you're from Brooklyn. Any other states? We had Wisconsin and Elizabeth, hold on to that. We're not looking for our international students just yet. We have Virginia, okay. Anyone from out west? Do we have any West Coasters in the chat? Okay, so it looks like we had Wisconsin and Missouri. I think you're the big winners from that particular competition. So we'll take note of your names and we'll get you a prize too. Now we want to go to our international students. Where are our international students from? Let's see those in the chat. We have Italy, we have Nigeria. Okay, Andrea, okay, they're coming through. Grenada, Burma, Albania. Okay, where else? Haiti, Nigeria, Uzbekistan, France. We have a few Nigerians. Hopefully y'all can make some connections. Greece. Hong Kong. I think Hong Kong may be our winner for the day. I wasn't a geography major, but I do think that Hong Kong might be the furthest. So Litman Wong, congratulations to you. We will get something out to you. All right. So Brooklyn College prides itself on being a stepping stone up the social mobility ladder. Therefore, we attract students at various stages in their lives. Using the poll option, let's see what you add to the mix. Are you a veteran? Are you a first-generation student? Are you a parent? Or are you returning to college after some time off? Let's see. Okay, we had Egypt adding a little bit late to the chat, but Good to see you, Ahmed. All right, let's see these poll results. Okay, so we have quite a few first generation students. We have some parents here, and we do have some students here that are returning to college after some time off. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much. As you can see, Brooklyn College students come from everywhere, representing different cultures, backgrounds, and beliefs, making our student body one of our greatest commodities. But with such a diverse population, at times it leads to conflict, and for some, adjusting to this new environment presents some challenges. Therefore, we have some speakers with us today to review some policies and procedures to keep you safe, as well as services to assist you during unforeseen crises. First up is Anthony Brown, the college's Chief Diversity Officer, and Ivana Bologna, the college's Title IX Coordinator.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am very, very excited to greet you. Again, I am Chief Diversity Officer. I am from the Office of Diversity and Equity Programs, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see you all in person at some point. I'm sure we'll be back on campus. I said this last year, and I will say it again this year. If you are at Brooklyn College, this is the absolute best college for you. And we will do our very best to make sure that you feel that this is the best college for you, because we are so excited to have you. Particularly as a diversity officer, when I look out and I see people from Brooklyn, from Nigeria, from Hong Kong, true, our diversity is on display for the world to see. In terms of my office, it's divided into two components. There's the programmatic component where we do all sorts of diversity programs, and there's the compliance side that Ivana Bologna will speak to you about in a minute or so. But I want to talk about the program side. Anything related to diversity, you are certainly to reach out and contact my office. There are a number of committees that come under the auspices of my office, such as the LGBTQ Resource Committee or the Student Diversity Committee. If you're interested in participating in any of those committees, feel free to contact my office. There should be a link for my office in the chat room now. One of the things I'd like to say is this is a critical moment in our history. We are, in terms of how we deal with diversity, how we accept folks, how we treat one another. And as President Anderson said earlier, we are rich in diversity. And I think we have an opportunity, given our diversity, to display not only for Brooklyn, but for the world to see what meaningful acceptance and inclusion, what that really looks like. And I invite you all to display that as loud, as vibrantly, in whatever manner that you can, but really, really, in terms of your Brooklyn College education, that is something, that's an opportunity that you have here that you're unlikely to have other places. Again, welcome to Brooklyn College, and Ivana will tell you a little about our compliance program.
Mute myself. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here with you. My name is Ivana Bologna. I am the Title IX Coordinator, and I work in the Office of Diversity and Equity Programs with Anthony Brown. My role at the college is that I investigate, I look into complaints of discrimination and sexual misconduct that occur between members of the Brooklyn College community. So we work under 2 CUNY policies. The first one is the CUNY policy on equal opportunity and non-discrimination. And the other one is the CUNY policy on sexual misconduct. So we really encourage that you read these policies so that you know your rights, your protections, and what kind of conduct could violate the policy. So I did talk a little bit more in the Getting Connected video on the 2020 online orientation page about the policy, about consent and reporting. So I encourage you to go back and take a look at that video. We are an affirmative consent state, which means in order to consent, the person needs to receive clear permission to engage in that sexual activity. We are a yes means yes state instead of a no means no state. Along with my colleagues, our role is to make sure that the campus is safe and that students are being treated equitably. And if this is ever not the case, and that you have a place to come to and that we can look into the matter. I wanted to talk a little bit also about retaliation, because oftentimes students are hesitant to complain because they're worried about retaliation. Maybe you have a complaint against a professor and you're worried about your grade, or maybe you have a complaint against a group member, someone you're working with, a fellow student. We have a strict anti-retaliation policy, and if we know that retaliation, or if you think that retaliation has occurred, we will look into that as a separate matter. So we want to encourage you to report without the fear of retaliation. So how to report? You can just call our office. We've linked the office website in the chat. So there's phone numbers there, you can just call in. There is also on the right column on the top, the first link is our online complaint form that you can complete and will be sent directly to me. So, you've heard that we are a diverse, beautiful college, but also with diverse people comes diverse ideas about what is appropriate and different biases, but we do have a standard of appropriateness that we follow according to the CUNY policies. We know that many of your classes are online, but we do have the ability, and we will look into any discrimination or sexual misconduct, sexual harassment that occurs on these online platforms, emails, text messages. We can look into those things. And it's important to remember that even though your classes are online, it's important to that you're still in school and that rules still apply. So we are here for you. We are a resource for you to come to. So please come to us and for any concerns or questions, and we'll be happy to look into them. Welcome to Brooklyn College.
Thanks, Anthony and Ivana. We do have a special guest that's looking to join us today to say a few words virtually. So it's my pleasure to introduce the New York City public advocate, Jumaane Williams, who is also a Brooklyn College alum.
I want to wish you good luck as you start a new year, a new chapter in your education. Many may know that I spent 7 years as a student at Brooklyn College and 10 more representing it in the City Council. It is truly a special place to be, and to so many who have had the honor of attending. Now, we know this semester may be just a little different from what myself and other alumni have faced, but our first priority are the safety of our students and staff and the health of our communities. But while the setting has changed, the knowledge is the same and the goals are the same. The things that motivated you to take the step, to come to school, to further your education, they're very much still waiting for you. We may all be physically apart, but maybe now more than ever, we need to stand together and to support one another in our goals, shared and individual. We don't have to be in the same room to come together and drive progress and change. You're not the leaders of the future, not the leaders of post-pandemic. You're leaders now. Transformational change that shakes a city starts on a block. We've seen that in just these last few months as people, largely young people, raise their voices to demand and to create that change. One last piece of advice that you often don't hear from motivational speakers, posters, or banners, and that's at some point you're going to fail whether it's a test, it's a class, it's a life, and sometimes it may be miserable or multiple times. But what's important is what you do in the wake of that failure, after that test, after that class, after that thing in life, how you come out of it, how you grow, and what you go on to do next. I'm excited to see all that you do in this school and beyond. Have a great year. Peace.
All right, thank you, Jumani Williams. Like I said, he's actually a double alum. He went to Brooklyn College as an undergrad, and he got his graduate degree from Brooklyn College, and we're very proud of him. Next up, we're going to pivot a little bit, and we're going to give you an opportunity to ask us some questions. So using the chat function, are there questions that you have? Any burning questions? How do we get a digital student ID? Okay, the first thing that you need to do is download the BC Navigator app. So it's a free app, BC Navigator app. In that app, you'll be able to get your BC ID, but it also includes a number of resources for you. So it includes a campus map. It tells you, once we're back on campus, the location of all of our restrooms. It also includes important information about key campus services. So everything is right in that app. You're also able to connect to to Bulldog Connection, which is our student portal for student clubs and organizations. So that's an important app for you to download, is the BC Navigator. Other questions? Janique asks, good afternoon. I'm having some issues with my registration process. I've tried to reach out to the school with no success. Okay. Speaking tomorrow, it's a little frustrating. All right, so Janique, I am going to give you my email address because yours is a little bit more, involved. So I'm going to put it right into the chat. So that you can reach out to me directly so I can answer your question. Rivka wants to know, can you send the link you referenced in the beginning about seeing you for the second time? So Chris, if we can have you put that online orientation link right back in there. So in the chat, we'll put the link, and there it is, to our online orientation. FAFSA is opening soon. I want to know if the financial aid office will be having Zoom sessions. So also, if you look on to Brooklyn College's homepage and look under the student support services, financial aid has what we call FACTS, F-A-C-T-S. And that's a resource for students. They also have a virtual telephone number that you can call to talk to somebody directly for your specific situation. How would I be able to change my major? I would like to switch programs in the same department. I was sent a PDF, but can't add it. Okay, y'all are going really fast. But can't edit it. So any academic questions, my best advice for you is to contact our Center for Academic Advisement and Student Success. That's our office that provides academic advising. Hopefully all of our new students, the first year new students, would have had to go through them in order to register for classes. For our graduate students, we have graduate student deputies in the schools, which are there to help you plan out your academic careers. So, there was a question. So, Alawale, I'm not sure if you're a first year student or a transfer. If you're a first year student, you have up until you reach 60 credits to actually declare a major. So if you're coming into school fresh, you're actually okay. But by the time you get 60 credits, you would need to declare a major. If you're a transfer student and you're looking to change your major, you should contact an academic advisor because you also want to check to see which classes that you're transferring in to make sure that they're going to go appropriately to that new major. The other thing that you can do is check, what is it? And I blank out. It's going to come back to me. So I'll come back to it. But there is a DegreeWorks. DegreeWorks. If you look on DegreeWorks, you can access through the college's website. it will be able to tell you if I'm say if I'm an English major and I want to change to math major, it will tell you how all the classes that you already have taken will transfer over, So that will kind of give you an idea of what your academic path will look like if you decide to change your majors. Okay, is it possible to reschedule a class? It is, but classes do start tomorrow, okay? And classes fill up pretty quickly. So if you're looking to reschedule a class, meaning you're trying to switch classes, you should go on line to try to see what's available now, okay? You don't want to wait for that. Let me try to get a few more. Got the major. How do we get in touch with financial aid and the bursar? So I'm gonna put this link in here for you. One second. Okay, so if you go to this link lists all of our campus support services, but it tells you how to contact these various offices virtually. So some of them use Zoom to do their meetings, some of them have phone numbers that you can call, but that will be your source of trying to find out how to get in contact with these different offices because they all are open. Some of my classes don't have scheduled times. How would I know when they begin? So if you go into the course bulletin, it should tell you when the class actually meets, unless you've signed up, unless it's linked to something else. So you would definitely want to look to see, is it a recitation section of a main course, or is it a lab, attached to some other course? But it should be able to tell you right in the course bulletin. So go back to that. If you have questions about that, you can contact the registrar's office and they can let you know when the class is scheduled for. How do we submit immunization records? Again, I'm gonna send you back to that link again because I don't want to kind of have to walk through some of the details. Go to that link and it'll tell you how to submit your immunization records, but they can be done electronically. Or if you send me an email, because that immunization records falls within my office, I can send you the more detailed information directly, okay? Are all graduate classes starting tomorrow? So classes begin tomorrow, but that does not mean that your class begins tomorrow. So classes are done on a schedule. So you want to look to see when your class meets. So if you have a class that begins on a Wednesday, then classes begin for you. But if you don't have classes until, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, then you won't begin tomorrow. You have to look at your class schedule. Is it a good idea to work at a part-time job while in Brooklyn College? A lot of students do it, so it depends on your particular situation, but a lot of students do work part-time. Okay, I'll take a few more questions. What if you don't have the link for a teacher's class or anything? So anything that's related to courses, if you contact the registrar will have all the information about that particular class. So you want to contact the registrar's office. How do you find your college counselor? Okay, so we don't have assigned college counselors here. What we do have is we have the Center for Academic Advisement and Student Success. They have academic advisors within that office. Chris, while I'm talking, if you can look up CAS's web address and put that into the web, for all of you new students and for the first years and for the transfers, that's where you'll go to get advisement. For the graduate students, you'll look towards your graduate deputies that are inside each of your schools. So inside your school, there are graduate deputies that work with each of the students there. Will teachers email their students to tell them how we'll be meeting for class? That is a great question. Who asked that question? Jason Charles, that is the question of the day. So I've been getting a lot of questions about that. So you should look into Blackboard. By now, all of you should have access to Blackboard. When you go into Blackboard, you should see your course. Within that course, it should tell you how you should be connecting to the class. Most of your faculty members will connect with you via Blackboard, but the instructions should be in there. But I also did learn today that the registrar's office will be sending information to all students to let them know how to find out the modality of course instruction. Okay, so Rimsha says, I have the BC Navigator app, but it won't allow me to upload an ID photo. You can't upload your ID photo. Once the photo is in the system, it will automatically come up. So unfortunately for students who have not been on campus yet and have not taken a photo, you're not gonna have a photo in the system. But once we're able to get back on campus, you'll be able to take that photo and then it will pop up in that app. Okay. We have 21 messages here. Okay, so we're gonna take a break from the questions and I'm going to come back to that. Look in the Q&A real quick. How do we find out about different clubs? Great question. Hamilton will be on to talk about that. What happens to MA education students who have field hours to fulfill now that we are virtually connected? So students who have field hours, you should contact your department chair. Your department chair will work out with you how the field placements are going to work. They're going to differ from degree type or from program to program. Is there any problem with declaring a major during freshman year? No. If you know what you want to declare, you can do that now. Where do I find my BC Web Central ID? That will be a question for the registrar's office. They would have to let you know what that is if you don't know what it is, okay? So now we're going to take a break from the questions, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dean Marima Smith, who is the Assistant Dean for Student Life and Student Ombudsperson.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Brooklyn College. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this session and have been learning a lot about the college and what we offer. So my name is Marima Smith. I'm the Assistant Dean for Student Life and Student Ombudsperson. I'm also a proud graduate of Brooklyn College. So I discovered my career in student affairs while I was a student at Brooklyn College. And it was all because I stepped out of my comfort zone and joined a student club. So some of you were actually asking about that. So I'm gonna share a little bit about that in a minute. But I would definitely encourage you all to try and do the same, step out of your comfort zone and try and get involved. And if you need help getting started, make sure to reach out to us in Student Affairs and we'll be able to point you in the right direction. So we're gonna post the email address for Student Affairs in the chat. Hopefully you guys can all see it and we'll save it. As VP Jackson mentioned, we're here to help you. So make sure that you reach out to us if you need help. So I'm excited to be here today with you all, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the resources we have available, and I'm actually going to show you a little bit of how to access this information online on our Brooklyn College website. So our website has a lot of information on it, and it will be very helpful to you, especially during the semester while you're doing your remote learning. So here is the main page. You access it, brooklyn.cuny.edu. So it's very easy to find. I'll point your attention to the top of the page where it says Campus Support Services. So a lot of the services that you guys were asking questions about can actually be found on this page. I think the link was also shared for it directly. So when you click on this link, you're gonna come to this next page, and when you start to scroll down this page, you're gonna see a list of offices. So any office that is listed with the initials VFD in front of it stands for Virtual Front Desk. And that means that they're actually available to you by phone during the hours that are listed. So it's got three main sections to it. You have the academic support services, which a lot of you are asking questions like about academic advisement and things like that. So you'll find that information here. You also have campus services. And then the next section you have is also student support services. So under student support services, you're gonna find a lot of the areas that fall under student affairs. And I wanna highlight just a few for you because a lot of times students don't know that these services are available. So we do have a health clinic on campus. It's free service for all students, and right now there actually are still assisting students remotely. So their contact information is there. You can email them to schedule an appointment. We also have a personal counseling office. So this is another resource. It's free and confidential to all students. It's also available remotely. As you can see, they have a virtual front desk. Life can be stressful, you know, especially if you're trying to juggle work, family, and school. But in addition to the personal counseling options that they offer, they also offer workshops on various topics, such as study skills and test anxiety. So they have a lot to offer to our students to really help them be successful. The last thing that I'll highlight from this page for you all is our Student Emergency Grant Program. So, you know, if you find yourself in an emergency financial situation, you know, for example, you suddenly lose your income or you have a medical emergency not covered by insurance, you can apply for this grant. And the application is all done online, and the link is right there in that description. So the next thing I want to talk a little bit about is our Bulldog Connection. So as many of you know, our mascot is a bulldog. So from the main Brooklyn College webpage, I think you all just saw, you can go to Campus Life, click on Student Clubs, and once you get to this page, the Bulldog Connection link is right there. This is where you're going to find the active clubs and organizations on campus, and you're also going to see any student-sponsored events listed in here. So you do have to log in through the BC Web Central portal. So whether you get here directly or through Web Central, it's the same login information. And we also have a direct link that will be shared in the chat in case you want to save it into your favorites so you can easily access it later. So I would encourage all of you listening in on this webinar to go ahead and log into Bulldog Connection later today and join the SAIL Center portal. So SAIL stands for Student Activities, Involvement, and Leadership. They're a great resource for you on how to get involved in campus life. So go ahead and do that later today when you have a moment. The next thing I will also highlight for you, which I believe VP Jackson mentioned it a little bit, was the BC Navigator app. So hopefully you've all had a chance to download it. If you haven't, you know, I would encourage you to do so. It is the official mobile app of Brooklyn College, and it gives you access to many of the college services and also personalized information directly from your phone. So for example, your BC digital ID, for those who haven't had the chance to take a picture, once you do, it will show up on there. It also has a campus directory where you can find contact information for faculty and staff. It also has the calendar events. And what's nice about the calendar events is that it actually is a combined calendar of all the college events as well as the student club events. So this is a good place to be. The other reason why I highlight that specifically is because I don't know if some of you have already heard of what's called a conversion day. So that is something that Brooklyn College periodically will have, where, for example, the Monday classes are actually being held on a different day of the week. So the first one is actually Tuesday, September 29th, and that particular day follows the Monday schedule. So it's important for you all to be aware of these different conversion days. Once we're back on campus, it also has a map that's going to help you get around campus. And it also has a link to the Brooklyn College Student Handbook. So this is a really important resource as well. It has a lot of information about, you know, what's available on campus, but it also provides you information about the college policies. And one last thing about this app is that it also has a BC Help function. So when you click that particular link, you're going to find answers to a lot of frequently asked questions about the college. So that's the BC Navigator app. So, you know, I've mentioned quite a few things, you know, as has everyone else. But one of the most important things that I hope you will remember is who to call when you need help. So I am one of those people that you can call when you need help. And I'm going to share a short video with you that hopefully will help you remember who to call when you need help.
When there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Policeman! When there's something strange and it don't look good, who you gonna call? Do you have a problem that's out of this world? Don't wait, don't hesitate. You could just call Dean Smith.
Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
All right. Thank you, Dean Smith. So we're almost running out of time, but I do want to get back to a few more questions. So Matthew says, as a first-year student, what do you think is the best way to make new connections and build new relations with friends and teachers? So one thing that you should do, that online orientation, that video, there is a video in there that talks about learning in a remote environment, and it talks to you about how to connect with your professors. So I would take a look at that. We also have our virtual student involvement day that's going to take place next Tuesday. That's when you'll be able to find out about all of our clubs and organizations. That's another way. But also, because we're learning remotely, don't feel afraid to use the chat functions. One of the reasons why I have students kind of talk about where they're from, how maybe the language they talk about, is because your greatest resource is you. You're going to get the best study tips, the best resources for how to get discounted books from each other. So don't be afraid to talk to your fellow students, particularly for the graduate students, because you're going to be doing a lot in a short period of time. So use each other to come up with like good strategies for studying and things like that. Talked about the Brooklyn College ID. Galaxy S10. You said I did not give you an answer. Can you repeat your question? Because I don't see the question. Someone asked about paying for classes. It's really important, if you have issues with paying for classes, to contact the Bursar's office or Student Financial Services as soon as possible. So each student actually has a financial aid counselor that will work with you to figure out your financial situation. It's important to do that sooner rather than later, particularly given the current pandemic. If you think that you're going to have an issue, reach out to them quickly. So there was a question that was asked, hey, you haven't paid your bill yet because you're expecting your residency to clear up, or you have an external grant or scholarship coming through. Give Student Financial Services a heads up so they can hold your classes. The worst thing that you can do is not communicate with them. Brooklyn College, we will drop you, but if we drop you, it's because we've tried to reach out to you several times and you have not responded. So it makes it look like you just kind of abandoned classes. So the key thing is to communicate with us so that we can kind of know what's going on with you and we can help guide you. There's a question about AP tests. You want to talk to the registrar to make sure that your scores get onto your transcript, because what you don't want to have to do is take a course that you've already gotten credit for through AP. So definitely talk to the registrar's office to make sure that they have your test scores and that you can actually see it on your transcript. I started going through the questions in the Q&A, the advisement website. Internships. So internships are going to be a little tough given the current pandemic, but just so you know, our Magna Career Center helps students find internships. Also, if you have an internship that you're interested in and that internship doesn't pay, you can apply for a scholarship through the Magna Career Center, where they will actually pay you for that internship. Now it is on the schedule. Chris, if you can put in the chat the web address for the Magna Career Center. So if you're looking for an internship in the spring, you apply for it in the fall. So that's something that you definitely want to start looking for now. And you can apply for that job even if you don't have an internship lined up just yet, okay? How many credits for a full-time student for a master's program? Full-time students, for graduate students, is 6 credits, so it's like 2 classes. How do you change your email address on Blackboard? I believe Blackboard is tied into CUNY First. If you go in and change it on CUNY First, don't quote me on that. It should change, but if not, hey, ask the question to people on here, because I actually don't use Blackboard. So anybody in the chat, if you're using Blackboard, how do you change your email address? So we'll look for that. Someone asked, will campus be open for anything? We have very few hybrid courses that will be going on this semester. For us, safety is the most important. So we're following New York State, New York City, as well as CUNY regulations to determine when it will be safe to open up the campus. Right now, with the exception of the food pantry, and if you're in a hybrid course, there really is no other services that are gonna be open up on campus. We are looking to see if we can open up our health clinic. Right now, we're reviewing our health plan for our health and safety plan for that, to see if we can have that available for students, because our health clinic provides free services to students, and we found out that a lot of students use them for their medications. So we are looking for that. In that link where it talks about campus support services, that's where we'll update all of the information. And look out for messages from me. Hopefully you got the email that I sent. Actually, I should have sent while we were on this call, that talks about the various resources that are available to students. So look to get regular communications as we learn more about the pandemic and as we determine what can be open on campus. Can you gain credits for undergraduate and graduate courses? So if you're an undergraduate student, you can take a graduate level course, but you wanna make sure that it counts for something, okay? So you wanna make sure that you're going, taking courses that add towards your degree plan. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I think I answered that question. There is not an on-campus bookstore. It is only online. We only have an online bookstore. Thanks, Christian, for posting in the social board. I think that's student government. Can I still pay for textbooks on Friday? So you order your textbooks directly. So whenever you decide that you're going to order your textbooks, you take care of that on your own. Anahi, you ask if you enrolled in a class, you found out the class is not running, you should contact the Center for Academic Advisement and Student Success so that you can find a replacement class to register into. Our sports team and recreation, right now, we don't have those active as of yet. We haven't made a decision if our sports teams are going to be active. You're saying that the FAST appointments are filled. Okay, I will make a note to let them know that, to make sure they can open up some more appointments for that. All right, Greg answered. I think that's the Greg Breimer answered the question about Blackboard. He's saying it's under the tools section for you to update your email. Thank you. I told you students are your greatest, commodity. You all know the answers. We have another one in there. The library is not physically open, but we're working on a process so that you can get books. A number of our books are electronic at this point, so you should be able to download them electronically. But that's the other area that we're looking at to determine, if students need physical books, how to get that too. So stay tuned for that. What is the event that you said is next Tuesday, and what time is it? It is the Student Involvement Fair. That's when our clubs and organizations will be present. It will be done via Zoom. And I believe it takes place starting at 12:15 next Tuesday. Where can I see the exhaustive list of all classes for graduate major plan? What you can do is you can go into the course bulletin, and the course bulletin will list all the classes. But also if you're looking for the class that you need to take for your major, you can also go online and look up that particular program. And if you go to that particular program's website, it also tells you the degree requirements for you to graduate. If you need to defer, please let the registrar office know that you want to defer. Okay. All right, we have a lot of students in here that are answering these questions. Thank you. Okay. So if you have AP credits that are not applicable, they sit there. So part of the issue, like, if you decide that you want to change your major, they may come into play, but it depends on what your major and your major requirements are. And that will determine how the AP credits will be, implemented. the same thing for any courses that you transfer. Not all courses that you take may transfer in for your degree program. Sarah asks, if campus opens up next semester, can I still choose to be online? We don't know. This is an ongoing process, and so we're working with community to try to figure out what the best options are. So stay tuned for that one. Is there an attendance policy for class lectures with scheduled times? It depends on the faculty member. You know, so what's important is for you to check your syllabus, and the syllabus will let you know if there is an attendance policy for that particular class. Okay. Who is this student? We may need to hire some of these students in here to answer these questions. Thank you so much. Okay, I think I got through all of them. A few on the Q&A. Where is this? So last few questions about paying for your classes. You want to talk to the bursar's office, particularly if you need to set up a payment plan or if you're waiting for outside funding to come in. You want to talk to financial aid about that. Can you graduate? I lost the question. To my Gmail. So there's a question about, can I link my Brooklyn College email to my Gmail account? We used to allow that, we don't anymore because we have to be able to confirm when we send out messages that it's actually you, so we don't allow for your Brooklyn College email to be rolled over. But if you have a smartphone, you can kind of set up your smartphone so that all of your emails come in one feed. So that's how mine is. Okay. Is it too late to apply for loans? It's never too late to apply for loans. You definitely want to talk to financial aid about that to find out what's available. We have a guy, is this Christian, are you at USG? I think so, because he's linking you. Oh, Aaron, okay. It's Aaron from USG, everybody. Thanks, Aaron. So he's putting some good advice in that chat for you all. So we're going to wrap it up now, but before we do, there's a couple things that I kind of want to stress with you. So somebody talked about Brooklyn College email. It's important for you to check it, okay? A lot of people will say, you know, I primarily use my personal email address. That's fine. But for certain things, Brooklyn College can only send it to your Brooklyn College email address because we have to confirm that it is actually you. Particularly anything financial related or scholarship related is going to go to your Brooklyn College email address. So please be sure to check it on a regular, consistent basis. The other thing that I'd like to tell students is to do a 3-week checkup. So about 3 weeks into the semester, you should have had some exams or a quiz. You should be still trying to work out, you know, what's the best place to study or how to position your laptop, you know, to do these remote courses. If you find yourself struggling, ask for help soon. It's really important that you let us know if things are not going well. Or even if you're finding out that, you know, remote learning is not for you, talk to us so that we can kind of help you with some strategies so that it can be successful. Because it's better for us to help you sooner rather than later when you've already had like a midterm or you're preparing for finals. It's important for us to kind of get you this help really, really early on. And finally, have fun. This is not the scenario that we expected for our students coming in for the fall semester, but we're gonna make the best out of it. You know, our student activities folks are working on some fun activities, even though we are remote. So please look to stay engaged with us. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hamilton Raymond, and he is going to officially induct you into Brooklyn College. Mr. Raymond is the Associate Director for Student Activities, Involvement, and Leadership. We cannot hear you.
I'm so sorry. I was muted. I'm so sorry about that. Again, let me introduce myself. Thank you, VP Jackson, again for introducing me. My name is Hamilton Raymond, and I wanted to thank you all for being here. I'm excited to be part of this journey with you guys, and I'm going to reintroduce the person that I'm here with, Buster the Bulldog. So Buster told me that he wanted to physically meet you all on campus, but unfortunately he cannot. But who knows? Maybe one day you'll be seeing him walking around. You see him walking around Brooklyn, and he'll surprise you, socially distancing, of course. It's very important to understand the culture of Brooklyn College, and nothing without great effort. These are the words that embody every graduate of Brooklyn College, words that we expect each member to embrace. You're about to be formally inducted into the Brooklyn College family, a community situated in and constituted of one of the most dynamic and diverse areas in the country. When you graduate, you'll not only be transformed by faculty, staff, and your fellow students, but we will also expect that you yourself will transform others around you. Most importantly, as a new member of our community, you will understand the value and reward of hard work. Nil sine magno labore, nothing without great effort. On behalf of Buster and myself, I would like to welcome you all to Brooklyn College. Give yourself a round of applause. VP Jackson, I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Hamilton, and thank you, Buster. This concludes our program for today. We all wish you the best of luck on a successful academic year. If you have questions that we weren't able to get to, please feel free to send us an email. I will type it in the chat box. All right. So with that, best of luck, and we look forward to be able to see you on campus one day. Enjoy your semester. Have a good one, everybody.